28, SOUTH, they play a flying black. USB, we in your house and leaving straight up out the barrel.
All I gotta say is that I bet the South can vouch for that little razzle dazzle when I'm on the move to get a nigga whack.
The Afghanistan news in this bitch. Y'all already know how I'm rocking, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I ain't gonna waste no time, let's dive straight into it. Alright, now I spoke on Blac Youngsta having issues with people from his old neighborhood in a previous video. But as I gathered more information on the situation, I realized that it is deeper than we all thought. And it's no secret that a well-known member of the Vice Lords, who goes by the name Lieutenant Shane, released a diss song aimed at Blac Youngsta and the rest of Heavy Camp in mid-2020. A couple people may have not known that Lieutenant Shane actually grew up with Blac Youngsta, and they were from the same neighborhood. Guys for Blac Youngsta's neighborhood, Macmillan, felt as if he switched sides, as he would go on to sign a guy who went by the name Young Money to his Heavy Camp label. Now, Young Money wasn't from Macmillan. He was from Fieldsaw. That's a neighborhood also located in South. Older guys from Macmillan and older guys from Fieldsaw were known to have issues, but most of the youngsters stayed out of it. Young Money would go on to kill a guy who went by the name CEO Bud in self-defense. After CEO Bud and a couple more guys from Macmillan tried to rob Young Money and his brother. CEO Bud was a well-respected member of the Vice Lords, and he was also the older brother of Memphis rapper Baby CEO. Like I said, the Fieldsaw and Macmillan always had little issues, but it was mostly with the older guys. Most of the young niggas stayed out of it. But after the death of CEO Bud, sides were picked and certain things had to be stood on. Now remember, all of these guys are from South Memphis. Most likely, they're all familiar with one another. A guy who went by the name Heavy Camp Woo would be shot and killed, if I'm not mistaken, in 2020. Heavy Camp Woo was a known hitter for Blac Youngsta. It was well known that if Youngsta needed some work to be put in, Heavy Camp Woo would be his go-to guy. Now, Heavy Camp Woo was also from the Fieldsaw, but if I'm not mistaken, he was one of Blac Youngsta's little homies in Blood. Even though Blac Youngsta flipped from Vice Lord to Blood after being shot by a fellow Vice Lord member, it is well known that he has his rank up within the Blood set. Youngsta can really get shit done. Now here's where things get kinda crazy. Like I said, Blac Youngsta will go on to sign Young Money to his Heavy Camp record label. After Young Money shot and killed a well-respected Vice Lord member who was from Macmillan. Like I told y'all, Young Money is from the Fieldsaw. I'm guessing Youngsta had connections in the Fieldsaw. Well, he did, because he was Blood, you know, he was recruiting probably all through South Memphis, not just his hood. Most of the Vice Lords from Macmillan, aka Mac Killer, were very close to CEO Bud. Even though Young Money killed him in self-defense, they still felt some type of way. Blood had been shed, and there was no turning back. Now I understand where the Vice Lord members was coming from in the interview they did, where they stated Youngsta switched up and started hanging with the ops. After he signed Young Money to his Heavy Camp record label, this will only add fuel to the fire. From my understanding, back in the days, in Macmillan, it was mostly Vice Lords and Bloods. And in the Fieldsaw, you had mostly GDs and Crips, with a couple Bloods in the mix as well. Yeah, man, it's just a crazy situation. Like I said, I spoke on this in a previous video, but I didn't know how deep the situation really was until I gathered more information. Now, I will be doing a part 2 on this. Y'all get them comments, feel free to voice y'all opinion. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. In Afghanistan news, I'm out this bitch.